Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new to the channel, hit that thumbs up. Guys, today we are talking about prepping, the next step in prepping as part of this prepping series, trying to help newbies out who are just seeing the light. If this is the first video you've seen, go back and watch the other video. This is video number 2. Go see video number 1. But let's get started. Guys, piece of advice number 2, where I would start, restart, start again, start over, what I would do if I was re-prepping. Step 2, food. Storing dry goods, storing away food. There's different methods to doing it. There's lots of different foods you can put away. Number 2 focus is food. Now, you need a goal, right? You need to have a baseline, something to hit, something you decide on. And there's some industry standards, if you will, some expected numbers that people kind of across the board agree on. Hey, this is the amount of food you should have. In the prepping community, you will hear 6 months. You need 6 months worth of food. The idea behind 6 months worth of food is if your store goes out, something happens in the supply chain, within 6 months, you know, it'll probably be fixed. We see these hiccups in the supply chain around here and in our civilized society. You know, you're usually not without food or without your Hot Pockets for a limited amount of time. So 6 months is a good baseline that a lot of people like to start out with. 1 year, a 1 year supply of dry goods. The thought behind 1 year is one that I like. I subscribe to that. It takes you roughly 6 months to bring in a successful food crop if you are growing your own food. Now that's, it's give and take, and it's gonna depend on your region, your growing seasons, all that stuff, right? Water, sun, all of that. But it takes you 6 months to produce a crop. If that crop does not come in, you're gonna need another 6 months to get to your next growing season. So the idea behind it is failed crop, winter, back into growing again. A year's supply of food is where that baseline comes from. And I like that. Growing is not easy. If you haven't grown a garden, if you haven't grown your own food, I wouldn't expect to hit a home run your first time up to bat. So as we talked about in the last video, having these standards, right, as part of the group joining process, having these standards are important. Having these goals are important. Being able to keep track of what you actually have. And this is per family member, guys. This isn't, hey, we should have 6 months worth of food for the entire family. You break that up on a family of 6, that's a month worth of food. That ain't great. Now, this is a lot, 6 months, year, that's a lot of food. If you're brand new to prepping, if you only have a cupboard full of food, you're way behind. But just go out and do it. We were having this conversation the other day at my buddy's gun shop, a plinker shop up in Spirit Lake. Come check it out. We were actually talking about this. We'll get people who come in and they're like, oh man, I really want this, but I can't buy that. But that person's drinking name your coffee brand. That person's drinking a $6, $7 Starbucks. And it's not his only $6, $7 Starbucks of the month, right? You might have to cut things out of your life like your everyday Starbucks. You might have to dumb it down, get you some Minutemen coffee, much better anyway. You might have to brew it yourself and take it from home. You might have to cut back on things to prioritize being able to put up that kind of food fast. These are first world problems, guys, and in the prepping community, sometimes you got to tap into your third world brain. You might have to give up some of those first world luxuries to be able to get ahead or get a good start on any possible food shortage coming up. And if you're paying attention to the reports of fertilizer plants magically burning, trade issues going on with other countries, forest fires taking place in countries that are destroying crops, there are a lot of economists, there are a lot of preppers, there's a lot of people expecting food shortages coming up due to all of the political happenings around the world. Russia is a huge exporter of wheat. Russia said they're not sending us wheat. You gotta plan for that. You gotta prepare for that. Where are you gonna go to get wheat, flour? The prices of it are gonna go up for the limited quantities that you're gonna have. So storing away this food, and I hear people say, "Well, you know, where can I can't store all this stuff away. Where am I gonna put it?" Right? I can't store big bags of rice and beans. You don't store them in the bags, okay? You got to work on your storage system. A bag of rice is compromised by one mouse. All he's got to do is chew through some little cardboard paper, get in there, and your bag of rice is garbage. So you have to protect your preps. There's many ways to do it. Me personally, I like Mylar bags inside of buckets with lids, 5-gallon buckets. You don't have to buy the food grade buckets if you're using a Mylar bag. You probably don't have to buy the food grade anyway, but to mitigate any issues of long-term storage, maybe food grade is your baby. Buckets stack up, guys. Buckets pile up better than bags of grain, bags of oats, bags of wheat. There's a lot of places you can store buckets. In the garage, make a shelf, in the pantry, under the bed, in a corner, in a closet. There are many places that you can store the buckets to put this stuff away. If it's a problem for you, create a solution. If you don't have a solution, maybe this advice is just not for you. If you just can't do it, which we hear people say all the time, well, I just don't have the room. I just can't do it. Blah, 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 blah. Little hard truth, little tough loving. I really don't care. I just don't care what people's excuses are for not doing the things. I don't have enough time. Well, you must be making plenty of money if you don't have enough time. So you've got the money. So use the money, make some time, make it happen. I don't have the money. Well, use your time to make money. These are all dumb excuses, right? You can have a bunch of excuses to stop you from doing the things that you need to do. Then don't do it. I don't even know why you're watching this channel. It's a channel of doing stuff. Homesteading's not easy. Farming's not easy. Prepping is not easy. If you're looking for the easy way out, you better have a bunch of money to pay for it. And you're probably going to have to pay for friends to hang out with you in your riches and be a part of your LGOP, because you are a weak link and you have to pay for it. Rotation of goods, guys. Once you get your stuff, you need to keep track of it. You can't just throw it in a dungeon for 10 years, forget about it, and you know, one day you might need it, you go down there and you didn't store it properly, or it's way too old. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any good to store food that goes bad. It doesn't do you any good to store food that's going to spoil. You're not going to be able to eat that stuff. So take the time to properly package, take the time to properly store, and take care of that. That is your investment, your rainy day fund of food that feeds your family if and when you can't get food at the store anymore. If and when inflation is so high, your cart full of cash doesn't buy you a loaf of bread. If your currency crashes and you can no longer pay for these things. Guys, this stuff has happened before. Check out Venezuela. It just happened to them a couple years ago. Go check out Venezuela, look at the history, look at what people did, look at how people reacted, look at how people solved the problem, look at how people didn't solve the problem, look who flourished, look who didn't, and navigate the path. Simple concept. These games have been played in other countries, all you got to do is take your head out of the American booty and look around to other countries. Learn from history. One piece of advice that I will give you guys before we get out of here, I've said it in other videos, you can buy bulk foods from wholesalers. You just have to find them. Now, I'm not talking about your Costco's. I'm talking about the warehouse where the farmers take the goods. The goods are bagged. Those are the people I'm talking about. There's generally a minimum order, and maybe some places won't even deal with the public directly. They might distribute to wholesalers only, and that's it. If you get a group big enough, if you can meet up with enough like-minded people and you guys can go in on a group bulk buy, this is your best way to do it. I mean, other than getting it from the farm directly. Find that in your area. Call them and find out what is their minimum order. It might be a ton. It might be 2,000 pounds for them to even open the door to you. Get a list of what they offer. Start passing it out to all your friends. Get a bunch of people to go in on it and buy large quantities of dry goods. That is it, guys. That is all for today. Food. Food is your next baby. That is what you're going to start on. That is your next focus. Stacking food for you, for your loved ones, and maybe even those loved ones who are hard of hearing and don't care what you're saying, and you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Prepping is not for everybody, guys. Some people don't have the mind for it. That is okay. But if it is for you, hopefully you utilize these tips. Hopefully they help you out. Hopefully you use these tips to help out somebody else. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that bell, and we will catch you on the next one.